Hi guys, what's up? So, nothing's really wrong, particularly with the old stove. It's been really well received. It's been everyone who's bought one has really told me that they've enjoyed using it. It's been a great experience, and I'm really thrilled about that. But I have a few issues with it, and it's not in function. It's actually to do with, and now the wind picks up. It's just how it goes together. It's a little bit clumsy in its assembly. It's a bit of a finger pincher for me, the bloke who's twisting them together, and it's just a tad heavy. 2mm stainless steel is it's a tad heavy, and it's a tad expensive. In fact, not to labour on the problems of this stove, but I've been wondering for a while why I haven't been making money. I'm a creative kind of guy, and the creativity comes to me really easily. But I suck at maths, not my strong point at all. After finally sitting down and doing the maths with internet fees, like the website fees, Stripe fees, which is for those paying by credit card, or what's the other thing, PayPal. Basically, if I use too much bubble wrap, then I would actually be losing money on this. And at the start of it, I was losing money because I was being ultra protective of the stove and putting lots of bubble wrap around it. But I've come to a point where it's like I really need to phase this stove out, or put the price up. And I just don't think it will sell if I put the price up, to be honest, but just between you and me. How do I put this? There's lots of things we want but don't necessarily need, and this really is one of those items. And if it's too expensive, even if you really want it but don't need it, you're going to spend your money on the things what you need, which is what you really should do. You know, food is important, electricity is important, all those things. So it's one of those things where from first-hand experience, if the price goes too far up, I just know I'm not going to sell any. So for this to be sustainable, I've had to really rethink. I've had to go back to the drawing board, basically. So the first thing I needed to do was get it lighter. The cost of 2mm stainless steel was just really hurting me. This is 1.5mm, so it's the next thickness down, and that also has had an added advantage in that it means that it's thin enough that I can fold these now on my pan brake back there behind me, which is kind of the reason why we're in this shed. This guy, in order to be able to fold it, I've had to create all these notch outs to weaken it to the point where I could fold it by hand. This, being 1.5mm, it's well within the capacity of my little pan brake back there, and so I've been able to design a stove now that around that pan brake, which is great. It's the lines are a lot cleaner, and the whole thing is just so much lighter. It's under 2 kilos. I'll put on the screen exactly how heavy it is because I don't know. I haven't memorized that off the top of my head. There's a few things that I've done to this to improve its function as well. See this? That's not straight. On the other stove, that goes straight across. I've given that a nice bit of lead. I couldn't go too far, but that little bit of extra room allows for larger and bulkier sticks. Basically, you can fit more fuel in the mouth of this now. Now this one had a grate that went on the bottom, which was a separate part, and lo and behold, I've managed to lose mine. So if I've managed to lose mine, I would imagine that there are people out there who have done the same. I've also got away with this door. This door was for controlling airflow, and it's a feature that, to be honest, I've never used. If anything, it's just something that's hot, that if you try to mess with the stove while it's hot, you're going to burn yourself. Or, you know, I usually end up just pulling it out, dropping the grate in the bottom, and going from there. So I've ditched all these extra parts, which on paper sort of seemed like a really cool thing, but in practice weren't really necessary. So now in the bottom of this one, the grate is all one piece. It's wide open all the time because at the end of the day, you want maximum heat out of this thing. If you want less heat, don't put as much fuel in it. So the logo's up high now, so people can see you have an Emu, which is nice. And also I've changed the way how this stove goes together. The tabs are now on the back instead of on the side, which means I can fold that piece, and it just slips together. No more pinching my mitts every time I assemble one. I've kept the carry handle sort of idea at the top, but I've beefed it up a bit. In the old one, it sort of got very hot and tended to warp it. Not really a problem for function. Some people did point it out and sort of were, you know, can you improve that? And well, so I've beefed it up a bit. So you still have a nice carry handle for when it's closed and it's not hot. And also, the old stove only came with one set of feet. Standard anyway. If you wanted extra feet, you could buy extra feet. But the problem with that stove was it was so close to 2 kilos that extra feet for overseas customers, that really bumped up the cost of postage. And so be selling these as standard with 2 sets of feet. So you can have a larger pot holder at the top and a more stable base. And of course, like the first one, and this was a viewer suggestion idea, which was very clever. Who came up with this is it has provision for a small metho burning stove. Anyway, if you want an old Emu, you better get one soon, because once they're all gone, they're gone. And yeah, it'll be pretty much just the new Emu that will be available after that. Why don't we boil some water, because that seems to be a good test. I'm going to measure how much is in this kettle. I think it holds 2 litres, but I will confirm that. It's room temperature, straight out of the tap or the faucet.
Wow, it's just like a little slide setup.
Can you go around the back? Now, can you throw some wood in the top for me?
Okay. Some tiny bits of wood.
Yep, tiny bits. Throw it in. Good.
It's ready.
Okay, we get the idea. You're boiled. Ooh.
I got plates.
What have you
Knife
got?
to crack it with and spoons to each.
Oh, really? You all in that bag? Good things inside, eh? Ooh. Alright.
All the stuff we need.
Alright.
So I don't have to run back and forwards.
Well, that's a good idea. Ooh.
Right.
Wow. Good job.
Spoons to eat with.
Wow.
And something to get it out.
Oh, good thinking. Alright.
And a knife to crack the eggs in half.
Ooh. Alright. Let's do it. Okay. Now that egg's going to be real hot, alright?
Crack.
Whoa.
Crack.
Ooh. Is it ready? All soft in the middle?
Yes.
Oh, beautiful.
Let's
Alrighty.
try your egg. This is yours egg.
Alright.
This is your egg because it has the green spoon. Wow, that's beautiful.
Good job, Aaron. Oh, good
Good.
spot.
It's really good. So I don't have to run.
Oh yeah. Is your egg cool enough to eat?
Yep.
Nice.
Hot enough too.
Hot enough too? Cool enough? Hot enough? The eggshell. Well, eggs probably don't get any fresher than this.
Yeah.
2 minutes. 2 minutes out of the chicken's butt. Mmm, fresh as they come. Mm.
Thank you, chickens. You've got us glorious eggs.
Thank you, Jenny.
No, Stinky did it.
Stinky did it.
Yeah.
We're eating Stinky's eggs.
Yeah.
Huh.